For the first time in nearly 12 years, the Catholic bishops, the Catholic Church, is rebuking a president of the United States. Tonight, the Catholic Church has issued a strong condemnation of Donald Trump over his inhumane immigration policies, arguing that his policies are a violation of God-given human dignity. And at the same time, Donald Trump is facing increased pressure to provide more transparency, more documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. Right now, for the first time in a long time, and this is my opinion, we have a White House in turmoil, we have a president in crisis, and right now we don't know what the future holds for this White House and this president. His closest allies, like the Catholic Church, like the Catholic bishops, they're rebuking him. The president is refusing to answer any questions as it relates to Jeffrey Epstein or the investigation that he ordered today into prominent Democrats and institutions, specifically ordering the Justice Department not to target Republicans or himself. And yet, the survivors of Epstein's horrific crimes are demanding answers. And their calls for answers, calls for justice, accountability, and transparency have been met with silence from this White House. So here's what you need to know right now, and I need your help to spread the word, so make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Donald Trump is facing increased pressure from the Catholic Church as Catholic bishops, in a near unanimous statement for the first time in nearly 12 years, condemned the President of the United States for his immigration policies. And while in response, Donald Trump's borders are fired back, essentially telling the Catholic Church that the White House will continue to do what it is doing with immigration.
Borders save lives. I wish the Catholic Church would understand that. We have the right to secure our borders, like we have the right to secure their facility. You can't take their facility without getting arrested. As a matter of fact, the penalties entering their facilities are much worse than ours. So, we're going to force the law, and by doing that, we're saving a lot of lives. Secure borders save lives. And one of the reasons no one talks about why we have the most secure border in the history of this nation is because exactly what ISIS is doing. ISIS sent a message to the whole world: don't give your life savings to come to the country, because you're not going to be released. You're not going to cross the border illegally, you're going to be prosecuted. So the Catholic Church is wrong. I'm sorry. I'm a lifelong Catholic. I'm saying it as not only a border, I'll say it as a Catholic. I think they need to spend time fixing the Catholic Church, in my opinion. Secure.
As you can see, he wants them spending more time on the Catholic Church and less time criticizing the President of the United States. And this president is embattled right now, because after directing the Justice Department to open up an investigation that was previously closed by this same Justice Department into Jeffrey Epstein's horrific crimes, Pam Bondi has appointed Jay Clayton, the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, to lead that investigation. But now Republicans and Donald Trump have an excuse not to release the files. They simply can say there's an open investigation. And if a lot of folks are saying, well, why didn't President Biden release the files? That's your answer. Ghislaine Maxwell was on trial in 2021. She was sentenced in 2022. She appealed her conviction in 2023 and 2024. You don't release case documents while an ongoing litigation is happening. And tonight, Donald Trump was asked by reporters what he thought about all of the Epstein revelations, and here's his response.
Do you want regime change in Venezuela, sir?
What did Jeffrey Epstein mean when he said you knew about the girls? If the Epstein case is a hoax, why are you calling for more investigations?
Did you hear a response? I certainly didn't. There is no response from the president as he walked to Air Force One. Here he was walking to Marine One. They took him to Air Force One at Joint Base Andrews, and he was actually asked again at Joint Base Andrews, and he refused to provide any answer. 2 days in a row, the president of the United States, who loves answering questions from reporters, has remained silent. And this evening, I have an exclusive statement from an Epstein survivor who remains a Jane Doe to this day. Mr. President, how dare you publicly torture the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein by calling our suffering a hoax? Then minutes later, direct American taxpayers to fund a sham investigation of your choosing into this abuse. The files stretch across 5 administrations. Where then is the investigation into the Bush and Obama eras? Why did Pam Bondi and Kash Patel testify before Congress that the inquiry had already been completed? We know the truth. The American people deserve to know it too. What moral and just society ever permits such a disgrace? Enough is enough. I pray that Congress finds the fortitude and strength that my fellow survivors and I have found to stand up to the injustice plaguing our country and to release the files. And it comes as Congress is expected to vote on Tuesday to release the Epstein files. The House of Representatives is expected to rebuke the President of the United States in a historic way. More than 100 Republicans in the House of Representatives are set to vote against the president's interests to release the files publicly. And then it heads to the United States Senate, where I predict that more Republicans will leave the president as well. And this evening, Donald Trump is reversing a key decision made by his presidency early on: tariffs. He has provided exemptions for tariffs on key goods that prices have skyrocketed on, from coffee to tea to tropical fruits, bananas, oranges, cacao, tomatoes, fruit juices, and high grade beef. They are now exempt from tariffs, just as the White House is essentially under siege for the high cost of groceries in the United States of America. Today, we learned from a ProPublica investigation two key things. First, Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino, he's a current Deputy FBI Director. He's never had a polygraph. He never went under a background check, FBI background check, before getting one of the most important jobs in the Federal Bureau of Investigations. But not just that. Another ProPublica investigation found that a politically connected firm, long tied to the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, secretly benefited from $220 million in taxpayer-funded Homeland Security advertising contracts awarded without competitive bidding under a border emergency declaration, raising concerns about conflicts of interests, hidden subcontractors, and potential violations of federal contracting ethics. And at the same time, a new tell-all memoir by Olivia Nuzzi, a journalist, claims that RFK Jr., our current Secretary of Health and Human Services, admitted to using the psychedelic DMT during their past sexting relationship, despite his long public sobriety and prominent role in promoting psychedelics as therapeutic tools, while the book also alleges that he told her he loved her, wrote her poems, and wanted her to have his child. This is the state of American politics today. These are the headlines that Americans are going to bed to tonight. I'll be back in the morning with another update. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you soon for more.